Hey plant lover, how you doing? Well, if you're a sweet basil fan, you can thank me in the comments after watching this video, and if you're not a fan, you can certainly deploy this on other similar kitchen herbs. So fan or no fan, you would enjoy this video. That's a certainty. Now, some backstory. I started some basil cuttings, and when I saw the leaves on the new plants are not even close to the size of the original, that got me pretty disappointed. And that's when I decided to use 3G technique with some added flavor. It might look like a lot of work, however, once you get a hang of it, it's as simple as it can get. Also note that traditionally when we say 3G cutting technique, we're dealing with just one plant and getting it to give out a third generation tertiary branch. However, for basil, we would need 3 generations of separate plants. So I would suggest that you should watch the complete video, as it would help you with a better harvest and you might not have to buy a sweet basil anymore from a store. Also, like, share and subscribe. Here we go. Well, first things first, let's understand what are we going to do. I would use toothpicks to represent 4 different plants. Let's start from the left. That's our base plant, the one we bought from the store. Now the second one is grown from a cutting of the first one. The third plant is the cutting from the second plant. And similarly, the fourth plant is grown from the cutting of the third plant. Simple enough? So this is what we're going to do. Now let's head into the practicality of things. This is our base plant and let's call it the first basil. Now we get a cutting and start a second basil. I would suggest that you get 3-4 cuttings for each generation so that you don't have to start everything all over again if things don't work out somehow. Put the cuttings in a translucent or transparent cup filled with tap water on the windowsill, and within 4 to 6 days, roots will appear. And as you can see, leaves don't look too good and roots also haven't grown too aggressively. By the way, we can hold on to the step for a week more. However, I would suggest you move on to the next step, that is, start these newly propagated cuttings in soil as soon as possible, so that we can reach our third generation faster. I'm using 100% coco peat based soil and the drainage on the pots looks awesome. Again, we'll keep on using a windowsill inside the house as the parking place for the pots. Water as and when the soil looks dry, and sprinkle water on the leaves every 2 days or so. Don't shy away from harvesting as and when you need to. Just stay on the lower leaves and don't let the plants be without no leaves, and you'll be fine. When the first generation plants have grown to 10 to 18 centimeters in height, it's time to get the second generation cuttings. Now you got to remember one thing here. Either you can have 3 generations of cuttings separately, or you can also make 3 generations on a single plant. However, to get the exact results, you'll have to grow the last generation cuttings as a separate plant, as we are doing in this video. This was just to make it clear that your base or parent plant would stop producing same size leaves after a few weeks, because you cannot replicate the exact conditions, the soil quality, the water and other factors the base plant was provided with. Again, the harvest is on and you can do that too whenever you feel like. And once in a while, if the plant reaches a height of 10 to 18 centimeters, prune or pinch the top part to get the next generation up and running. Use cinnamon powder to cover the wounds. Now we are getting the third generation cuttings, and this would be our future parent plant in case you want to grow many more basil plants. Also remember, if you decide to give away cuttings to your friends, obviously they'll offer different conditions, soil and water, hence they'll have to start all these steps all over again, or else you give them a full-fledged plant to save them some steps. As you can see, the roots grew so thick within just 5 days, and the leaves also, if you notice, they look perfect. Not even one leaf is damaged in any way. I know it took us some time to get here, but oh, what a feeling. I'll be using slightly bigger pots here for our third generation basil plants, and will be good for at least a year or so before we get some more cuttings to start a few more. Again, coco peat based soil mix, nothing fancy, drainage holes in place. Water immediately and leave the pots on the windowsill for next 4 to 6 days, and let's watch them grow. Well, that was great. Now have a look here. The first generation is doing just fine, not great. And these plants will not survive for long. So unless you get to the third generation of cuttings, you would always be struggling with the harvest and even to save the sweet basil plant that you would buy from a store. The size of the leaves in the third generation cuttings is almost double the size of your regular basil plant, and that makes this whole exercise a great experience. Now I'm going to cut the top part of each of these plants to get more leaves and get the space between the nodes even smaller, and this would also give the plants to grow sideways and get their stems to gain more strength. I shall bring out another video titled How to Prune and Initiate Sideways Growth in Sweet Basil, wherein I'll show you the growth pattern of these plants for next 3 months. It will be another exciting video, so I would suggest that you subscribe if you're not, and also press the notification bell. I hope you had a good time watching this video, and I thank you once again for your time and support. I'm expecting that we would be 10,000 strong within this week, and it's a big achievement for all of us. This would not have been possible without you, and I'll do everything to make sure you get the information you deserve as far as the plants are concerned. I would love to hear your feedback, suggestions, or questions related to this or any other video, and I promise that we'll have a discussion every single time. That would be it for now. I'll see you again soon. Until then, take care. Goodbye.